What's good? What's good? What's good? This is Ëűženphõric Êlíxïř. Good. Coming back at it, you know. Another day down from work. I say work to public ears, but I'm gonna tell you what I refer to it as. I lease my time. So I'm leasing my services to a company in return for a payout, you know. So based upon what I do, my performance, whatever you wish to call it, or whatever services they need. What's up, Cap? So based upon whatever services they need, I supply that service, and end goal is to receive payment for my services. That's the only way to really look at it. Now, we can call it work all day. You can call it whatever you wish to call it. But when you think about the grand scheme of things, and being an individual who doesn't plan on working for anyone for the duration, then you have to look at it from a different perspective. And that perspective is that in which I just stated. We don't work for no one, we lease our services. I'm talking to you. Yeah, all y'all. Yeah, if you're working for anyone, you're not working for them. So get that mentality, that structure, get that out. Now you can utilize it once you get to a point where you understand what it means. Like the work aspect, you can say it to those so they can understand where you're coming from. But or you can just tell them, nah, I lease my services. Because technically, what's up, man? Yes, sir. Because that's technically what we do. Ain't no slaves in here. You know, we set the tone to go and apply for a place where we can actually, again, lease our services, go and perform. And in doing so, we accept a certain degree of what is to be expected. From us, and we also set a certain degree of what is to be expected for those in which we are partnering with. In business, that's what it's going to be, so you might as well get used to it now, which is the reason for all of this conversation, is to prepare yourself for that in which is to come for you in your life. If you're watching this, you're watching it for a reason, and one of those reasons is simply because you're going to be your own business. You can call it business owner or whatever. You're going to be your own brand. You're going to be your own brand. I speak that to you. That's what you're going to be. You're going to be your own brand. If you have any desire to reach beyond your current, and if your current is you leasing your services at current, then you're going to be your own brand. So it's good to keep yourself in that mindset, because that's what it's going to be. So you might as well get used to it now. Should let it build momentum, because when it hit, you know, you already be in the seat. You know, if you try to find, you know, where you stand and all of this, no. I sit here. This is me. I sit here now. Anyone I bring in might stand in this position, but no, I am the one with the seat. So keep that in mind. There is no room for working for anyone forever. I get it. I understand. If everybody's a boss, then who's the worker? Shit, bosses can work for themselves. They don't have to, but they can. So can be like me. You can have 4 or 5 different assets that you're building, and you are the most valued employer as well as the most valued employee of your business and that brand, those brands. Ain't nothing wrong with that at all. And while you're leasing your services, you can take those proceeds. Once you get to that point where you're able to do so, you can take those proceeds and you can invest those proceeds into companies that provide a dividend yield. And once those have grown to a certain amount, you can start taking those dividend yields and paying your bills with those. The principal stays. The principal is there. But based off that principal is giving you a yield for your stock holding. Shit sounds simple to me. I don't know about you, but get accustomed and acquainted to those type of thoughts, because that needs to be the process at all times. Finding the way, and once the way is found, cultivating that way into your genetics, your business genetics, the way you conduct business, the way you sustain your business, the way you sustain yourself. You are your business. The way you sustain your business. There's not really a whole lot that's too difficult about it. The most difficult thing is getting, I would say, getting to the point where you can understand what's up, my man. That you can understand that there is more outside of what you are currently doing. Not getting stuck in that cycle that should have burned you out. And it don't really take a lot. It may seem like it does because, they say, you can retire at 65 or whatever it is. I don't know. I don't really know what it is. I think it's like 65, but it didn't fucking matter because I don't plan on doing it no way. And when I say I don't plan, that means I'm not. That's not me. When you're doing things that you enjoy doing, you don't have to retire. You just don't need to retire. If you build your own brand, you ain't gonna retire from yourself. Because hopefully you pick something that you can do forever. And the only thing that will cause a leave from that thing would be if you just say, you know what, I think now that I've acquired the financial abundance that I always desired, I think I'm gonna start living more. By doing that, what you can now do is leave that to whoever's next. I think we talked about this before. It's building a legacy. That's what it should be all about. It's all about building a legacy. This is a legacy build. This is a legacy build. And real quick, this will be a topic for another discussion as well, though. But I'm gonna say it real quick because it is important and it kind of goes hand in hand. It's no different from how we go about our nutrition, like and you will hear me say sustain and sustainability and things like that a lot. You can always hear me say something pertaining to that. But how we sustain ourselves, our body, and this is my theory, so don't think it's like some scientific data that's out there floating around, but based upon my life and my experiences, it's my actual truth, and through my observations of others as well. But our bodies are designed to be extremely durable. nutrition standpoint, you may not have access to the most organic foods, or whether it's organic or the best quality of food. A lot of that's because the soil is deficient, but from the standpoint of like meats and things like that, you know, it may not be fully organic, whatever, right? We live in a time where there is a lot of green light, which means everything's kind of fast-paced. That being the case, sometimes we sacrifice certain aspects of our being to either keep up or get ahead, right? So let's speak of not keeping up, because we should already be somewhere where we're at least getting comfortable, you know. When I say comfortable, I don't mean content. I just mean that, you know, we're at a comfortable state where it's not too much strain on our lifestyle or to sustain our lifestyle. All right, so we can get to a point where, you know, everything's fast-paced and we're trying to get ahead. Think of a college student, prime example. You can eat all the food in school that it provides in the cafeteria or whatever, but you know, and you can take that back to your dormitory or whatever. But trust and believe, you got some snacks on standby. Whether it be snacks or just some instant type foods, or foods that takes relatively no maintenance to prep. I look at it as your body is designed to be able to put up with a lot of those type of meals. Not necessarily because of that, but for the sake of this conversation, it can put up with that for decades, you know, decades upon decades. Here is the theory, though. You're not supposed to do that to yourself until the full duration is complete. Your body is designed to be able to do that so that you can get to a point where you no longer have to do that. Meaning, I can eat this shit forever, or I can eat this shit forever and succumb to whatever eating this way offers me, or I can do this with a goal in mind that every aspect of my life is going to be better, including my nutrition, my diet. So again, your body is designed to be able to tolerate and put up with the torment that you put upon it, but for a limited time. So within that limited time, because it's not like you know for certain, until this new company that it's being touted, well, I ain't gonna say it's being touted because a lot of people don't even know about it. I know about it because I invest in startup companies, but it's a company called Predictive, and what they're doing is, and I'm gonna get back to the point of this. Matter of fact, let me do the point first before I get into that. You don't know when that time is going to expire, right? You don't know when you're going to succumb to this or succumb to that, based upon your eating arrangements or your habits or your diet. If you're going to be eating like that, then you need to make it count. Meaning, everything that you are doing right during that time needs to be with the goal in mind that at some point in time, this shit right here is going to be looked at as a fantasy. I can't believe I used to eat like that. Or I remember when I used to, and I'm so grateful now that I no longer have to. That's extremely important. It's important because you want to be able to live. If you're in school or you're just doing things to better your life, it didn't necessarily have to be school. Doing anything to help better your life that causes you to have to take measures that are outside of what the most nutritional would be from a food standpoint, a diet standpoint, then you need to make sure that all that shit counts. You're not doing it for just for the hell of it, you know, for lack of a better term. You're doing that for a reason. You need to make sure that reason resides within means that you can sustain yourself later. And if you just get into the habit of doing it, even after you make it to a point where you can now do better, like you can get the top quality of everything, and you recess to that, and that becomes your norm, then there's some other things that need to be kind of observed about self. You know, self-observation, self-analysis needs to take place. I don't really want to get into the psychoanalysis of your mental makeup, but it's okay sometimes. But you know that those type of foods, I feel like certain type of foods I feel are not designed to eat forever, or not designed to be a part of your norm, right? Okay, so the company I was referencing, the startup company I was referencing, Predictive, is predictive minus the E on the end. So no E on the end. And no, I'm not being sponsored by them or anything to a degree. I am invested into them, but I'm only mentioning this because it fits the scheme of this conversation, because there's a ton of other companies I'm invested into that I haven't mentioned. But them, for instance, they basically have the technology in place to create a digital you. Everything about you, fingernails down to anything else, right? And that digital you is basically a representation, an accurate representation of who and what you are, and what will happen to you based upon your lifestyle, taking into consideration your DNA structure, your genomes, and all that good shit, right? To me, I think that's groundbreaking, and it is designed to prevent some of the worst things from happening to you. If you are aware that certain aspects of your lifestyle will eventually contribute to this or that, like pointing out actual diseases, sicknesses, would be cancer or whatever, based upon you doing this thing or that thing, then you'll be more in the know, more equipped, and in a better position to be able to bring those things to a halt or stop them, and reverse certain things that have taken, you know, effect based upon that your lifestyle. I think that's one of the most helpful things a person could actually have, and that's based upon, and this isn't based upon their receipt of doing. It's just based upon their end goal, what they can provide, what they plan to provide. So unless you have something, and I bring it up because what we were saying is, you know, you don't know when that time is going to come, but if you have something like that, then you can say, okay, well, look, this shit right here is like, you know, if I keep doing this, then within the next 5 or 10 years, I'm gonna have some problems. So that gives you a window of time. So you can say, well, I ain't gonna try to get too close to that 5. Let me cut it off at like 1.5 or 2. You know, and you know, you can start trying to make strides based upon that. To any degree, anything that you're doing should be for the greater good. It should be for the greater good. If it's not for the greater good, then what the fuck are we doing? If it's not to better your life, and potentially the lives and conditions of those around you, and then even larger, on a larger scale, those of the world, then perhaps we can do some soul searching to kind of come to some conclusions of our identity, like our true selves. Because I know a lot of people are extremely selfish, and I would say this: sometimes it's better to be selfish than selfless. But again, there's sometimes. That's not 24/7 or 25/8. Like, there's never a time when you're not selfish. That's what 25/8 means. You know, it's 25 hours and 8 days a week, and you get what I'm saying, right? Okay. So yeah, I just think that it would be a great thing to just kind of keep certain things into a perspective where you have a hand on what you're actually doing with your life, and what type of effects certain things are having on your life. I appreciate you for watching. If you like, then thumb it up. If you don't, thumb it down. To any degree, share it, and shit, subscribe so you can continue to like or thumb down my shit. It's Êlíxïř, you know, signing out. Peace.